Hello everyone. Uh, I wanted to make this video for a long time. I just didn't know how to actually do it. What I want to do is I want to compare the most used music streaming services like Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music, that kind of stuff, and just to see is there an actual difference between them. So for most of you, this video is going to be probably disappointing because it's not going to be anything scientific, anything that has to do with actually listening. I'm not going to listen to anything. What I wanted to do is just to show is there a difference and what difference is it? And I think I found a way how to do this because what I did is actually I saw a difference between those services. We're going to go through this. So, disclaimer again, as always, I'm not a professional, I'm just a hobbyist. I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. So, take it for what it is. And I'm not going to be talking about stage of depth or width or any that audiophile stuff. I'm not on that level, nowhere clear, nowhere close to it. So, this is what you actually can see. Yeah. So let me show you what I rigged up and we're gonna go through the results as well. So what I have here is exactly the same setup that I had when I was testing Pink Noise. I have a external sound card, which is microphone input, and it goes from my tablet. So in my test, I used my phone that I'm filming right now, but just for this purpose, I'm using my tablet. So 3.5 mm jack goes out, it goes through the microphone input into the laptop and into RAW. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to capture whatever the smartphone, or in this case tablet, is outputting. I wanted to do it in a different way. In the beginning, I was thinking to use some kind of uh, internal audio recorder, or like where you have stream capture stuff, screen capture, but it doesn't work on those apps like on Tidal, on Spotify because of copyrights. So it doesn't work. So the only way how to do this is to capture the external mic, external headphone jack. Yeah. And what I wanted to see is in the beginning, I thought I might compare the whole files if I'm going to record the whole song and compare it somehow. But then I thought I'm not going to see anything because this is like literally £3. It's not going to, it doesn't have the resolution. It's not going to show me anything. So then I thought, what can we, regular people, not massive audio files, but regular people hear? And what we hear is frequency response, yeah? So if it's up or down, probably we're gonna hear it. So I wanted to see if there is difference between maybe there's gonna be slight EQ applied to one or several services and maybe bottom or top is going to be raised. So how do I record this? Basically, I played a song and I record it on RTA. So I took averages forever and on RTA with no smoothing. And what I did, I was recording 2 minutes of a song. So in this case, for I wanted to test bottom end and top end. So for bottom end, I chose like bass heavy songs. So if you can see the bass is coming up right now, it's gonna stay there. So I choose song by Eminem. So in this case, you have lower notes are 20, 20 something, 40. That's 21 is coming up. 20, 27, 47, and 50 hertz, something like that. So I thought if there's gonna be a difference in the low end, the songs that the bass heavy songs are gonna show that. And I chose another track for the top end because this Eminem, it basically is up to 10K and there's nothing. So I wanted to find a song that has more top end, up to 20. And one guy on Facebook group suggested one song, so I took that one. So I thought it's not, again, it's not scientific, it's nothing, it's just I wanted to see is there a difference between them. And I think that's the only way how you can actually see the difference. Can you hear it? We're going to discuss it later on. So all the services were from my smartphone. So all the services like Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music, Deezer, everything was on the free trial, which was like 1 week. So it's basically how anybody would use those services. Yeah, you download it, take a free trial, or you pay money and you go through it. You don't go through any settings, anything, you just use it. Yeah. And let's see what I found. And what I found out is this. So I have on this side, I have Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, YouTube Music, not the regular YouTube, Deezer, and Tidal. And just for fun, since I had this song in my playlist, I put it from my phone directly from Flag from the player. And what I found is there's no difference, nothing between them. And the lower end, there's literally nothing. Everything is the same. However, there's something happening on the top end. On the top end is a bit different. So let's zoom in. I'm going to zoom in on very top end. I'm going to increase the scale just to see a bit better. And there we go. So what we have is, by the looks of it, some services are cutting the signal at like 15, 16K. That's going down, like here. Okay, 12K. This is 16, but some of them have, it's like 19, has some more. And this one stood out a tiny little bit. So this is green. In green, in my case, is Spotify. And I thought, okay, so Spotify has a little bit more top end. So then I tried a song which has more top end, which goes up to 20, which was the song that was suggested by one guy in Facebook group. So it's Crystallize by, I don't know the author, I don't remember it. So let's have a look at that one. Crystallize. I'm gonna open all of them. There we go. So this, I don't know what's here, but it's just literally like what, 4 to 20 to 30 hertz. So I just ignore this. Everything here is identical. However, from about here, so like 3-4K, there's a slight difference. And there's a big difference after 8K. So let's zoom in on that area and see what differences we can see. A little bit more. There we go. There we go. So the scale is 1 dB. 1 dB scale. So we can see that the rest, remember, the rest is identical. It's just the peaks, they're different. So these peaks, I think, might have to do with bit depth and the clarity of the signal, bit rate, that kind of stuff. I don't know, maybe, probably. But this is interesting, yeah? So what I see here is if, for example, I take out everything and I leave only Tidal and Spotify, yeah? So between these, I have 1 dB difference, maybe 1.1, 1.2 dB difference. If I apply a little bit of smoothing, let's say 1/6, there we go. That's 1 dB difference between Tidal and Spotify. Again, if I go back on the lower end, they're identical. It's literally 0.1 dB. It's totally fine. If I zoom out as well, so we can see everything, you can see that everything is the same apart from the top end. And on the top end, Spotify has more level. Now, why that is, I don't know. What I think, and it's just a speculation, that like Bose or a Harman or whatever, when they do like Bluetooth speakers, and they increase artificially the bottom end and the top end, like people do smiley curves on the EQ on head units. So if you brighten up the top end, it might seem a bit brighter, more clear, and a bit louder. So my speculation is that Spotify does something similar. If I choose all of them with the same smoothing, 1/6, see there is a slight difference, but Spotify, the red one, is always on top. So it has more level on the top end, maybe just to make the music sound a tiny bit brighter. Now, 1 dB, it's not a big difference. Can you hear it? I think you could. 1 dB, especially at the top end, I think you could hear it. So, is there a difference between these services? Yes, there is. Can you hear it? Most likely, yes. That's just my conclusion. Another thing is with the extension up to 20K. I'm going to reduce the smoothing a tiny bit so we can see. Look, so these three are Amazon Music, Tidal, and Apple. They go up to 20K. The rest drop off at 16K. So Spotify, 16K. YouTube, tiny bit earlier, maybe 15K, 15 and a half, let's say 16K. Deezer, exactly the same, 16K. So these three, Amazon, Apple, and Tidal, go up to 20K, and those roll off earlier. So that's one difference. And this level on the top end, there's a second difference. So the other one, Deezer, ended up number second on the top because the rest, if I take for example the Eminem song, because I wanted to compare it to the FLAC that I have, yeah. So if I take FLAC, if I take Tidal and Apple, they're identical. If I take Spotify, it has a bit more level. If I'm gonna apply the smoothing, 1/6. So these three, see, they're identical with the FLAC that's coming out of the phone, and Spotify has a tiny bit more level. So again, this is far from scientific, far from lab grade equipment used and that kind of stuff. This is very, very simple thing that anybody could do at home. Just buy an external sound card for £3, cable, and just try for yourself. This is what I found. I did, however, double check this with few different songs just to make sure that it's not just the one song, and I found this trend the same, that Spotify always ends up higher than the rest. So it has that top end a bit more extra. So if your system can play it, if you can hear it, that's the question. So for example, this between 6 and 10, of course you're gonna hear it. I can hear up to 16K. So if I would listen, I would hear it. This difference. Of course, on some songs, not on all of them, because most songs don't have any information here. Now, will I hear a difference between 16 and 20? Probably not. Not me. Maybe somebody can hear it, probably I don't. So Spotify works fine for me. And again, this is not, doesn't say what is better, what is worse is, it has nothing to do with sound quality, with bitrate or anything. This is shows just the difference, what you could potentially hear if you don't have golden ears, but if you have a good quality system in your car. And I think you could hear the difference. So yeah, I don't know if it was useful for anyone. If it was, happy days. If it's not, well, you wasted 20 minutes of your life. So thank you very much anyway, and I'll see you in the next one.